Hi, cozy friends. It's finally time to compile all of my favorite cozy game releases from 2025. If you're curious about my favorites from the past years, go check those out. But today we're focusing on 2025, and what a year this was. We'll talk more about it, but this year truly reignited my hope, my optimism for the cozy gaming industry and the genre. You know, we're disillusioned with the gaming industry as a whole. Some of the choices that have happened this year, it's confusing, it's anti-consumer, it's, you know, it's a lot of things. The bottom line is it's frustrating. But I think for cozy games, this year made me feel truly optimistic. And that just makes me so happy because I think there's been a lot of discourse around, you know, cozy gaming having more shovelware and slop. And I really just think that's a symptom of the cozy gaming industry getting bigger in general and there being more eyes and ears and hands in the industry. When that happens, the slop comes, and that comes in every single type of game and every single subgenre of gaming. But I will say, I think the past couple of years had me a little worried. We had some really good ones, but overall I was like, is the trajectory of cozy gaming looking good for us? You know, is it just a money grab or is there real heart here? Do the publishers really, really care about funding games that are good and not just like anything that can appeal to cozy gamers that cozy gamers will just buy just because it's a cozy game? And like I said, this year healed me, I think. This year really healed me. But opining about cozy gaming aside, I digress. Let's just get into my top favorite cozy game releases from 2025. And I'll have some honorable mentions at the end. So before I start with number one, I want to say August truly served us all of the best games this year on a silver platter. I don't know what was in the air, what was in the water. Is that like a normal trend in the gaming industry that all the best games come out in August? Everyone puts all their games out in August? I don't know. Pre-summer, I guess that would make sense. But August, it delivered in a way no August has delivered before. I'll tell you that much. And I would know because I make these every year. So a lot of these came out in August. Just a fun fact. Let's start with the first one. Tiny Bookshop. Tiny Bookshop. Oh my gosh. Not only did it meet my expectations, it exceeded them. I feel like this was a release that there's been buzz around it since it was announced. Like, it was announced that this was in development and everybody has just been buzzy about it ever since because it's like the perfect overlap of cozy hobbies and cozy gamers. Like, it's everything a cozy gamer wants. And this is the kind of game that gives me so much hope for the future of cozy gaming because I feel like for a while there, a lot of publishers and devs were like, oh, cozy gamers like farming. So let's make 20 million farming games and let's never stop and let's make them all the same and let's make them more and more surface level as we go. I think a lot of us got fatigue and a lot of us were like, that's enough, please. This game, Tiny Bookshop, where you run a mobile bookshop and you can customize what you sell, you can give recommendations to customers, and you move from location to location on a map, manage your stock, and you can customize the actual look of the shop. Everything about this says that the devs really understand the kind of person that is picking up cozy games. And that is not just a person who wants to farm all the time. And sorry guys, I promise I'm not ragging on farming sims. I love farming sims. But this game just speaks to the multifaceted identities that cozy gamers have, because cozy gamers are, at the end of the day, we're people. We're people with a myriad of interests. We like to read, we like to knit, we like to crochet, we like to do a lot of other cozy things because we're people and we are, you know, complex. I feel like this was one of the first cozy games that really nailed that and really made me feel seen as somebody that has a lot of cozy interests. Not only was there that beautiful harmony in like acknowledging other interests and other hobbies and merging that with the hobby of cozy gaming, there was also so much care put into the game. It wasn't done sloppily. It wasn't like, okay, we did this thing that some people asked for and here it is, and it's just like a surface level management game. It's done really well. It's paced well. The art style is phenomenal. It's unique. It's interesting. It's kind of storybook-like. The dialogue is funny and interesting. The characters are unique. The little side questies and completionist tasks that you can do, a nice little cherry on top. And the game mechanics just aren't boring. They're not overcomplicated. They're not oversimplified. It's just the perfect in between. This was a game that has so much love put into it, and you can feel that from the moment you pick it up to the moment you put it down. You can feel the love, you can feel the care. They didn't do anything halfway. Someone believed in this game and they brought it all the way to the finish line. Absolutely phenomenally. I think it's so well done. And at the same time, it's simple. It's simple, but not in a bad way. It's simple in a way that I hope signals to a lot of other game devs like, hey, we don't need that much. Like, we really do. We don't need that much to be happy with a game, with a cozy game to keep us occupied. It just needs to have love and care in it. And it needs to blend things that appeal to people with multiple interests. It needs to have heart. And that's really what this game felt like. It feels like it has heart. The touch of it having real books is so much fun, especially as a reader, like as an avid reader. I love recognizing the books that are in there and then being able to recommend them to the customers that are like, I want this kind of thing and I want this kind of thing. And I'm like, I know the book and I know you will love it. It's so satisfying in a way that I just haven't found in another game, much less another cozy game. So Tiny Bookshop was one of those games that had a lot of hype around it and it lived up to it. And that just made me so happy because I feel like there's been so much hype and then it falls flat. And this was one of those that it didn't, and it made me so happy. I think you'll love this game if you love books, you have a love and appreciation and care for books in your heart, and you also love management that isn't too heavy on the actual management, I'd say. Like, it's more focused on the day-to-day, the shopkeeping, the interpersonal stuff than it is on like really making sure you have the exact amount of perfect stock and making everything the most efficient and optimizing. It's not a management game for the optimizer. It's a management game for the immersive cozy gamer. You know, like it's for somebody who like wants to run a bookshop, but wants to have fun. Not someone who wants to run a bookshop in the most absolutely realistic way possible. And now you're stressed about the inventory and the stock and the money. And it's not that kind of management game. So if you're looking for a casual management game, you'll love this one. Next is kind of a cheat. It's kind of a cheat one, but it's Hello Kitty Island Adventure because it released on Switch this year. I won't go into too much detail on this because I've talked about it last year because it came out on Apple Arcade last year. So you can look at my review over there. I just have to say this was ported over to Switch so well. I think a lot of people were worried about it being a little too like graphics intensive and it stuttering a bit on Switch. And I will admit sometimes it does stutter on Switch. Sometimes it's like, oh, little hiccup here and there, but not in any way that impedes on the gameplay, not in any way that you even notice, really. And I just think it was so well done, and it fits so well on Switch too. Sometimes I feel like it's hard to bring an iPad game over to something like a Switch because often it's formatted so that you can like tap and it's just easier to like da, so then it's hard to map those to certain controllers or buttons. I just think this was seamless. It was seamless, and I actually like fell back in love with the game playing it on Switch. I think I really enjoyed like the portability of it and just the ability to bring it around like this with me instead of having to like set up my iPad and then have my controller or like even the tapping on the iPad. I just don't, that doesn't feel as natural to me as playing on a Switch. And so I really did fall back in love with the game this year. I had so much fun getting even further than I did on my iPad save file. You'll love it if you love somewhat of an Animal Crossing style island town builder, village builder, but there's also this like puzzly element to it as well that reminds me a lot of Breath of the Wild like, or just like classic Zelda games. It feels unique for a town builder, and if you love Sanrio characters, like it's a no-brainer, dude. Please try it. Please try it. And the map is huge, and they only keep adding things to it. They just added a wheat flower like Wonderland DLC. I loved it. They add more like puzzles, they add a storyline, they add more characters, and it just like keeps this world ever growing and evolving, and it keeps you interested and engaged. And also the fact that it's tied to real time. It's not exactly real time, but it is like tied to real seasons and times, so they have reoccurring events, and then you get like cute little outfits and stuff. And there's just also a lot of care put into this. Like the team behind this, it constantly is doing upgrades and working on new things and DLC, and I just love that. I love when a game isn't just like plopped and dropped unless it's like phenomenal, fantastic, and it doesn't need anything else. Something like this where after a while you're gonna get bored, you're gonna run out of content, you're gonna run out of like houses and cabins to decorate. It's really nice to have a team that's like, all right, we still see you. We want you to still enjoy this game and get your money's worth. So I do appreciate that about them. And again, the Switch release, really well done. Next up is Ritual of Raven, which if you had told me at the beginning of the year, like the concept of this game, and then told me that it would be on this list at the end of the year, I would have called you crazy. I would have said, get out of my face. No, I would never say that. But I would call you crazy because this is just not a game on paper that I think that I would like. Like, I didn't think I would like this. I tried it and I said, this is genius. This is genius. This is genius. Whoever's brain came up with this, awards. It's not for everybody. I will say it's not for everybody, but for the people it is for, I think you'll be obsessed with it. I think you will not be able to put it down until you have finished the entire game. It's so interesting. So what is Ritual of Raven, if you don't know? It is a farming sim. I know I put a farming sim on this list. I know, but it is a farming sim done so uniquely. I've never seen anything like it. It essentially blends like this witchy tarot theme where you utilize a deck of cards to control these constructs. And these constructs are like these little guys. They're just little guys. Let's call them little guys. You control these little guys, and the little guys carry out all of your farm work for you. So say you have to plant a seed, you've got to till the soil, you've got to put the seed in, and then you've got to water. You can have a series of cards that tells the construct to do all of those things in that order. You can also do them out of order. It won't work. The seed won't grow, but you can do anything with those cards. You can put them in any sequence you want. You're going to want to put them in the sequence that makes the construct do the right thing. But the customization is so endless. It's boundless. When it finally kind of clicks in your mind, you kind of feel like that movie, what is it, Limitless, where it's like, I'm utilizing 100% of my brain power. Like, it's such an interesting way to work through all of the more like menial tasks in a farming sim. So you have this like charming world, you have this charming storyline and these quests to get through within the context of a farming sim. And so if you're like, oh, this witchy little world looks so cute, there's like cool diverse characters and queer characters, but it's a farming sim, I just can't do another farming sim. It reimagines what a farming sim is. It just completely reworks and reimagines it and makes it so interesting and engaging. Now, why I said I don't think this is for everyone, it's kind of essentially coding. Like, it is coding in a way. It's a lot of like if-then statements. It's a lot of like sequencing. It's thinking about things a little bit more logically. It's very logic based. And if that is not your thing, I promise you're gonna hate this game. Like, you are gonna hate this game. I think it's really one of those like love or hate games. I really loved it. I went to law school. I kind of had a little bit of fun studying for the LSAT. A lot of emphasis on a little fun, but like the logic games and stuff, kind of fun. So I love a little bit of logic. I understand that's not the same for everybody else, but if it is for you, it's for you. I think that's my tagline on this Ritual of Raven review. If it is for you, it's for you. Ritual of Raven, not a game I would have ever thought would be on this list. Next is This Seat Taken. Now, this was one of the first published games from Wholesome Games, which is the game curator, and they do like the Wholesome Direct where they announce a lot of like indie cozy games. This was one of their first published games, and I was so excited to check it out because I just like I trust them down. Like, I trust everything that they put their like stamp of approval on. Lo and behold, it lived up to the hype. It lived up to the hype. I'm going to rephrase that. I don't think there was enough hype around this. I think it was like a sleeper favorite for a lot of people. Like, once it came out, it was like everybody was talking about it because you couldn't ignore it, you know? This is like a very short and sweet puzzle game where you are trying to find a seat for everybody in this little group. And the game provides you with like different situations. Sometimes you're on a bus, sometimes you're in a car, sometimes you're at a party. The situations differ every time, and the requests and the preferences of the people also differ every time. So there's also a little bit of like logic puzzling in this game, because someone will be like, I want a window seat, and someone else is like, I want a window seat too. And then someone else is like, well, I want an aisle seat, but I also don't want to sit next to someone stinky. And then there's someone stinky who wants a window seat. And then what do? It's so interesting and it's so fun and it's so challenging in some moments, and others it's like, no, yeah, I got this. Boom, 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 boom. It was such a delight. Short and sweet again, like you can do this in one day. I love a short and sweet game. I feel like often what I hear from cozy game reviews is like, it was so good, I just wish it was longer. And in some ways I get that. Like in some games I'm like, no, you're right, because like Tiny Bookshop, please just like add more levels, add more something, because it's so relaxing that you just want to like go back in that world, immerse yourself, and just keep going forever and ever. But there are some games where I'm like, I feel like it's good there. Venba was one of those games for me where I think that made it on one of my favorites lists. It had this beautiful story, but the story had to have a start and finish. It had to be that length. It was a story someone was telling, and that was the story they wanted to tell in that amount of time. I think it would have done a disservice to the game to try and stretch it out and make it longer. I think it was beautiful from start to finish, exactly how long it was. And that's kind of how I feel about Is the Seat Taken. Like it was such a fun little experience. It was just a fun little moment, fun little day to go through and do all these puzzles. Now, that's not to say if they came out with DLC, I wouldn't be chomping at the bit to download it and try it and finish it. But I think it's kind of perfect. I think sometimes you just need that short and sweet game, and that's okay. It was priced perfectly for the length that it was, and yeah, I love it. Okay, next is Discounty. Discounty, y'all, I had no idea about it at all. It wasn't until I think like the week it came out, or even it might have been after it came out, that people were like, try Discounty. Why aren't you trying Discounty? Play Discounty. If you don't know, I do cozy demos on my YouTube channel, this one. And every week we try out like a new cozy game, or maybe just an old one that I haven't tried yet, or sometimes just comfort games that I want to play a little bit of, like Stardew. So people were kind of like, why aren't you playing Discounty? And I was like, what's Discounty? And this game just snuck up on me. I don't know what it was. Maybe I was asleep for the first half of the year, but August came, this game came out, and I was like, where have I been? This game is so good. It's so good. So let me start with, what is this game? In the simplest summary, Discounty is a supermarket simulator, a market simulator with a narrative. There's a narrative element in there. Now, to elaborate a little, and why I love this game so much, is I feel like it takes the traditional simulator and it plops it inside a RPG game. Like it has this whole functional, complex management game that could stand on its own, and then it plops it into this other RPG style adventure narrative game that could kind of also stand on its own, but it's merged the two, and I think it's done so brilliantly. Again, the characters, the dialogue, it makes it interesting, and the levers that you have to pull and work with outside of the management element of the shop, the like day-to-day runnings of the shop, those are like just as important as everything you do running the shop. So it's like you'll run the shop, but you need to upgrade certain things, or like add new things to your stock to be able to like hit certain goals, or like add new things that you need. But in order to do that, you need to go talk to somebody, and they want something from somebody else. And to get that thing from somebody else, you need to do this in your shop. And then to get that thing in the shop, you need to talk to someone over here, and you need to complete this quest, and you need to go find these things around the town. It's so perfectly balanced and interwoven in a way that keeps you so engaged. And on top of it all, there's a fascinating, interesting, mystery kind of storyline woven throughout. I can't sing enough praises about this game. I think a lot of people will love this game. I think Discounty has such mass appeal because there is that management element, but it's not the entire game. It's not the whole thing. I will say you do have to like management games, so maybe that's the caveat there, is like, yes, there's mass appeal in terms of like the game as a whole, but since the management aspect of it is a day-to-day aspect, like you do have to engage with that on a day-to-day basis for the most part, you do have to like management. But it's such a fun, engaging management. I love how they do the math where you have to like add up the totals. I love how you have to like get the stuff out of the truck, you have to order the stuff, get the stuff. It's not super detail oriented, like it's not quite Tiny Bookshop where it's a more simplified management experience. It's like a step up from that, but it's not quite like full on realistic management where, you know, you're stressed out. It's somewhere in between. And there's all of the rest of the narrative element to it too, and all of the other, you know, characters to meet and tasks to do and side quests to do. It's just, it's so good. It's so good. So Discounty, a shock to me when it came out, and then another shock, a follow-up shock, an aftershock, if you will, of the fact that I just loved it so much. And again, this was another one that came out in August, and I was like, I was hit one after the other of like phenomenal game after phenomenal game. I was like, what is happening? What is happening? And Discounty was just another one of those. Okay, next is Town to City. Oh my gosh. If you guys watch my cozy demos, you know how much I love this game because I picked it up and I typically play about like 2 to 2.5 hours of a game for the cozy demos, and I could not put it down. I couldn't put it down. I stopped the recording and then I played it till the wee hours of the night. Like, I could not stop playing this game. It was so much fun. It was so addicting. This is a town builder, a city builder, if you will. It's just so beautiful. I think there's like an aspect of a lot of town builders and city builders where you're like, I'm carrying out the tasks that I need to carry out, but it's a city. I can't really make it that cute. There's gray, there's streets, and there's gray buildings, and here's the houses. You know, like, there's such a practicality to a lot of town builders and city builders. This one is just all beauty. It's all beautiful from start to finish. It's just the prioritization of aesthetics in this game did not go unnoticed. I appreciate it as a cozy gamer. Town to City, you get us. You understand. Like, half of the fun is making it look cute. And not only like the buildings and all of that, but also like the surroundings are beautiful. The way the water and the reflection bounces off of the water, and the lights that you put around, and the sunrise and the sunset. It's all just so beautiful, and you really feel immersed in this town you're creating, which makes you care about it more. It just makes you care about it more. I think my main takeaway from this game was like, this is not a stressful town builder. I usually feel stressed. I'm sweating, pits soaked. Okay, when I'm playing a town builder, because I always somehow mess it up. I don't know. I mess up the plumbing. I can't quite figure out how to get a resource to them, and then something is failing, and I'm like, well, I'm trying to get this started over here, but then this is failing. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm just a failure. At no point in this game did I feel that. It's so intuitive, and it's not hand-holdy, but it's also, it doesn't just like leave you out stranded and like figure it out. It's just the perfect balance. It's intuitive, it's helpful without being overwhelming, overbearing, and it also allows for so much freedom. Like, yes, you can like try and optimize and get to the certain checkpoints as quickly as possible, but also you can just kind of like have fun and create your town however you want to create it, and make these little cute little areas, and you know, you can prioritize whatever you want to prioritize. Yes, you can only advance in certain ways by following the timelines and the checkpoints that they have, but also you can just have fun. You can just have fun. Yeah, I loved it. I had so much fun. This is actually only on early access. So what I will be doing when this releases is putting it on my list for that year too, just so I could talk about it again, because I love this game so much. And the fact that it's an early access and it's this good. Right. So anyways, Town to City, love it. Okay, next one. Oh my gosh, please don't draw and quarter me for adding this to my list. Tales of the Shire, you guys. Tales of the Shire is on my best of list for 2025. Sorry, I know it's divisive. Here's my perspective of it, right? And I've said this before. I'll say it again. I understand why some people don't like this game, but I also understand why so many people love this game. And I'm in that camp. I don't know what to tell you. People can like a game for different reasons, and people cannot like a game for different reasons. This game, I think, is exactly what it was sold as, and I absolutely understand. I know some people had some issues with like bugs, and I know some people had complaints about like music and there not being enough like immersiveness there. There are certain complaints I totally get, and yet it's still on my list because I had so much fun playing it, and it felt like something unique. It felt like something truly unique. Why I appreciate this game so much is I've followed it since like the very beginning, the very first announcement, and all throughout the development cycle. And what they told us this would be is a slice of life, like cozy. You're escaping to the Shire, and that's it. Like, it is purely the escapist, immersive Shire simulator slice of life that anyone who loves the Lord of the Rings franchise and the Hobbit franchise will appreciate. If you like those kind of games. Like, this was specifically marketed towards cozy gamers, and I know because I was involved in the announcement of it at the Game Awards. Oh my gosh, which doesn't require me to say anything nice about this game, by the way. I just liked it because I think I was just the target audience. Who they marketed it towards was cozy gamers who want something slow, who want to just escape and want to experience what life would be like in the Shire on a normal day. I think the discrepancy after it released came when people who didn't fully follow that like marketing cycle and just saw like Tales of the Shire, a cozy game in the Shire. I think there was like all of this buildup and expectation around like what that would look like without truly like following what they were telling us it was going to be. And so I think a lot of people were like, oh, this is going to be, you know, an adventure and narrative and so many things and ties into the lore and the, you know, canon world of it all. But it was always just going to be like an escapist little slice of life game. And so I totally get that some people were like a little bit let down. They had these, you know, grandiose expectations, and then it's kind of just a slice of life game. I get that. I totally get that. And for all of the people that do just love a slice of life game, I think those people were like perfectly satiated. And then the people who, like me, like followed it very closely and knew exactly what it was going to be, I was like, and there it is, exactly what I was expecting. So that's kind of my 2 cents on the reception of it. Why I do like it so much, though. Like I said, I think it's doing something so different. Like, it unabashedly was like, here's just a day in the life of a hobbit. Like, I don't know, like, apart from just straight up simulation games, you just don't really see a lot of games like that where it's like you're living life. The only other thing I can think of is like actual like Sims style games where you are just living out a character that you're controlling. But this is a little bit different than that. So I thought it was so unique and well done in the fact that like they didn't just like leave it at, okay, here's a hobbit you can control and see what a couple months and a year or whatever in the life of a hobbit is like. There's also quests, and then there's also like this brilliant, very detailed customization where you can move everything from like a fork on a table to like a napkin to a book in the bookshelf. There's so much detail in the customization that alone can keep you occupied forever. The beams in the house and the wallpaper and the floor choices and all of that, right? There's so much there, but then also like there's a lot of quests and there's a lot of like you can do fishing or you can do gardening, and it's less farm based and it's more like hobby gardening, which is really fun. There's cooking and hosting. Like, again, besides Sims, I can't think of another franchise where you are hosting a dinner and you're planning the dinner around people's preferences, and then you're setting the table based on like a theme and you're sending invites. Like, it's so innovative and it's so cozy, and it is this like discreet little cozy world, and it's not trying to do too much. It's trying to do something new, and it's trying to do something comforting, and it's trying to create this world that you can just escape into and live life as a little hobbit if you've ever wanted to. It's not meant to, you know, bring in all of the dark themes of the franchise and worry and fear and even, you know, precarious adventure. It's just giving you a space to escape to and play and host and be cozy. I think it was really well done. Done. Could there have been improvements to it? Yeah, absolutely. I think like the music was such a valid criticism. I think how it plays on Switch, oh my gosh, actually don't get me started on that. I talked about this a lot, but like this game on Switch versus PC or another console, like it's night and day. It's 2 different games, you guys. It's like 2 different games. So that I 100% understand, but at the same time, like they prioritize getting it on the Switch however they could, and a lot of games don't do that. And so it's kind of a toss up of like, is it worth it being on the Switch if it looks like that? And then for some people, they were like, yeah, I know it looks like crap, but I'm just so happy I get to play this because I'm having so much fun. So there's my Tales of the Shire rant and review. I think you'll like it if you love to just dilly-dally. It's a game for a dilly-dallier. It's not for the adventurer. It's not for the plot thick, narrative driven person. It's not for the farmer or the manager. it's for the dilly-dallyer. And if you aren't a dilly-dallyer, I don't think you'll like it. I really don't. And that's fair. That's totally fair. Every game is not for everybody. Tales of the Shire, I loved it because I, above all else, am a dilly-dallyer. All right, y'all. My next one is 2 Point Museum, which I feel like is a given. Whenever there is a 2 Point franchise release, it ends up on this list. Why? Because it's a great franchise. They know what they're doing. They just know what they're doing, don't they? I don't know. If you love a management game, you will love this. Point blank, period. Like, I don't think there's any caveat there. I don't think there's any like, but only this kind, but only this kind. I think if you love to manage, you will love any 2 Point game. I think that this release just shows that they can put this franchise in dang near any setting. Okay, they did hospital, they did university, and now they're doing museum. What won't they do? What will they do next? Anything. Zoo, aquarium, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much potential with this franchise, and it's always quirky, it's always funny, it always makes me laugh, and there's always updates and DLC and interesting things happening with the franchise. So if there's a franchise you really want to like put all your eggs in the basket of, it's probably this one, because it's got a quality that is consistent. You know what you're getting. You probably will never be disappointed with it. If you like one of them, you'll like them all. And again, they've proven that. And they've proven that again with this release. This was just exactly as I expected, which is good. Okay, next is Ship Inc., which is only on PC and Mac right now, but also PC and Mac. Hey, not a lot of games are on Mac, so I always appreciate when there's a Mac release. Ship Inc. is a shipping simulator, a shipping manager. There's a lot of management games this year. You know what? I'm realizing that. There's a lot of management games this year. It's like they took a step back from farming sims and they were like, all right, management. Here you go. You want this? You want this instead? You didn't like the farming slop we gave you? Here's some management games. At least they were good. Ship Inc. is so cute. When I did the demo of it, I said it reminds me of like old Flash games in terms of like the pacing and the way the world is set up, where there's different shops and then you have your like management section. So then you go and like clock in for the management section every day and you try and fit all the pieces in the box and you ship it out with the right label. And then, you know, you have to like wrap certain things a certain way or like do certain labels for certain things. But then you go out of that like shipping job facility and then there's other stores where you can get like materials or upgrades or things for like your home even, which are just different upgrades that affect like how you operate in the game. It's so interesting. Again, it's so nostalgic in a good way, like in a modernized way. It's not too simple. It's not overcomplicated, but it's addicting. Like, it's one of those management games where you're like, I gotta do it forever. Also, it introduced me to this publisher, which is such a cute publisher. Like, they do really, really cute art styles for all of their games, and a lot of their games are management focused. So they have like a vending machine one, they have like a florist one, I think, and like a stamp one, and they have a bunch in the makings right now. So definitely keep an eye on this publisher, because they have, or this developer, I think developer and publisher, but keep an eye on them because they have a lot of interesting things going on, and Ship Inc. was really, really fun. Okay, my last favorite cozy game release before my honorable mentions is Camper Van Make It Home. This game is so charming and so cute. This is a kind of purely decoration game. There's a little bit of puzzle in there. It reminds me kind of unpacking, where you have a set amount of things and you have to fit them all in this space, but it's a little bit more forgiving than unpacking. I feel like unpacking has more of a puzzle element to it, whereas Camper Van Make It Home is kind of just like, well, you can leave it there, sure, that's fine. I put like a pencil on the floor and it's like whatever, but like, it's so cute, you guys. This is another game where it's like, yes, they're listening to us, like they care about the aesthetics because we care about the aesthetics, because they care about the aesthetics. Like, it's this conversation that we're having with the devs of like, you get us, you get what we care about, you get what's like what makes a game fun and personal and enjoyable and something to come back to and play over and over again, is like making it something we want to look at. It's important, sorry, especially in a cozy game where you're making a cute camper van. Like, making it cute and aesthetically pleasing is going to make all the difference, and this is like a masterclass in that, in my opinion. And there's also a free play mode, so apart from like the puzzly elements of like the stages of the camper van, the storyline, which is also like a really cute storyline, apart from that, you can also just free play. You can make your camper van exactly how you want to make it. You can put your little laptop and your cutesy Switch games and all this stuff like however you want it in your camper van. it's just chef's kiss. Like, it is beautiful. The surrounding areas that you're camped in are so beautiful. You go through like different seasons and different terrains. Yeah, the storyline kind of like surprised me. I wasn't expecting it, and it was like touching at the same time, but we didn't try and do too much with it. Like, they didn't take themselves too seriously with the storyline where you're like, oh, okay, now I have to like really pay attention to the storyline. It's just, it's there, it's cute, it's meaningful, it speaks to you, but really, like, they know why you're there, they know what you care about, and it's the organizing of all the stuff, and it's just so cute. I want more games like this. I want more games like this. I want more games like this. It's like quintessential girly pop games, and we just don't have enough of those. It seems like, I don't know, it seems like publishers are scared to put money behind like purely girly pop games like this, because they're like, I don't know, it's such a small percentage of gamers, like, how are we gonna do it? Okay, build and they will come, right? Build and they will come. Because for all you know, this is going to be the first game that gets someone into gaming. You know, that's how Animal Crossing was for a lot of people. And that's just my plea. That's my plea. Let's make more of these. Please. Okay, you guys, those were all of my favorites. Here are my honorable mentions. And honorable mentions are, it's a little bit different every year. This year, it's just games that are not cozy games. Sometimes it's games I didn't quite like play enough of to be able to put it on this list, but I know that I would really like. Sometimes it's like a game that's not released this past year, but it's a game that I tried for the first time this past year. This year, it's simply just not cozy games because I just didn't have any of the others. And I like to include honorable mentions because, again, cozy gamers are multifaceted. I feel I get so many like backhanded critical comments in my shorts, specifically on YouTube, where it's like, oh, you're a cozy gamer, you're not a real gamer, all of that. The stuff we always hear. And it's like, you don't know what I play. I don't know. Like, you don't know what somebody plays. Just because they like largely play these kinds of games doesn't mean they're not playing other kinds of games. And also, we're all gamers. But it doesn't matter. That's a conversation for another time. I could talk about that for hours. We play all different kinds of games, just like we eat all different kinds of foods and listen to all different kinds of music. Just because we like one kind of game the most doesn't mean we don't like other kinds of games also, or equally, you know, just complex, nuanced, right? Not everything is black and white, and it shouldn't be, which is like why I feel like a lot more people who play competitive games should dip their toes in a little bit of cozy gaming here and there, you know, just see what it's like. You're discounting it, but you might just like it, might just change your life. And I do feel the same way about cozy gamers. Sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, these are really good games. I'm with you. But also, there are some really fun, good games in another genre, especially to play with somebody else. You know, like, it's really, really fun to try out some multiplayer games that maybe you wouldn't have tried because you're like, I don't know, it's not cozy. What if it's like scary or hard? Maybe start out with multiplayer games first, and then you can ease your way into it. You can, you know, cross new horizons together. Not alone. Anyways, all that to say, I like to include non-cozy games because they're also really good, and I think you should hear them. The first one is someone could argue it's a cozy game, but I think largely it's not. And it's Date Everything. Date Everything is a dating simulator where literally everything in your house turns into a dateable character. And it is as chaotic as it sounds. It's insane. And the voice acting is phenomenal. They pull voice actors from like all over the place. Like Brennan Lee Mulligan's in it, Zuko's in it. Like, there's so many solid voice actors, and it just makes it that much more entertaining. I feel like I've talked about this game and some people are like, a dating simulator, that's kind of weird. But the point of dating simulators, I think that people who haven't tried a dating simulator don't understand, is dating simulators are often just about like the story, like the narrative arc throughout from start to finish, more than it is about the actual dating. And that's not true for all dating simulators, but for a lot of them, there's a story in the background of what's happening amongst the dating, and the dating is kind of just a vehicle for showing you that story and showing you the journey of like the character from start to finish, and maybe how they're changed by the different people they're talking to, or they're not changed and they've realized like maybe they thought they needed something they don't. In the dating sims I've loved, there's like an interesting story behind it, and this one is just, it's so kooky, it's so like chaotic, and every character you meet is a hoot and a holler and a half. Okay, you will crack up at some, you'll be like, what, at some. It's not about like actually dating a household object, it's about just like having a fun time, and have a fun time you will. It's so funny and so interesting, and I may have gotten catfished by a shadow demon. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. The next one is Peak. And again, I feel like there's some cozy elements to it, but largely No, it's kind of stressful. So this is a game where you are trying to climb to the top of the mountain, and it's generated differently every single day, and it's multiplayer. So you're working together with your friends. It's one of those, like, I know that I forget what they call them, like co-op slop or something, but there's been so many co-op multiplayer online co-op releases in this past year of people just like trying to chase after the success of like Lethal Company. There's been a couple. Are we there yet? And then Pika's another one that has been really popular, but it's popular because it's good. It's popular because it's good. It's fun. It's really fun to work towards a common goal. And I like that it doesn't have to be scary. Like, I love Lethal Company because you're working towards a common goal. And I also do love that it's scary sometimes because it's fun to like scream and get scared with your friends. But sometimes I don't want that. Sometimes I don't want the like fear of something popping out at me. So Peak is like the perfect substitute for the days when I don't want that and I want to hang out with my friends and I want to climb and I want to have fun and then die because I'm not paying attention and then I fall from a really, really, really high place. But yeah, like Peak does not come without challenges. There's a lot of challenges and that's what makes it fun, is like you are overcoming those with your friends together, and it's just fun. It's very fun. Okay, the next one is Borderlands 4. I always talk about how Borderlands is one of my favorite franchises for multiplayer, for couch co-op specifically. There are not many couch co-op games these days. It's just a dying game type. I think people prefer online games. People aren't meeting up with their friends as often to play games, and so it's just not prioritized as much anymore. But I love a couch co-op game. It's one of my favorite things to do with my friends and my partner. I love a couch co-op, especially when it's like more than two. Yeah, let's get the game together. Let's like shoot people together, you know? And Borderlands 4 has always been one of those for me. It just blends like the skill, the tactic, the technique of tactical battle and shooting with quests and like open world and exploring. Like it combines all of those so well. I grew up on like the Halos of the gaming industry and I always really loved them, especially the campaign mode, again because the couch co-op, you can't go wrong. I loved playing it with my brother and just like us trying to get through the, you know, campaigns together. But there was a kind of set path for you on those games. It's a little bit more set path, at least the first half of the franchise. It's like, okay, go from here to here, go from here to here and do what you have to do, and then go from here to here and then do what you have to do, and then go from here to here. I really like that Borderlands is a little bit more open world. You have a whole like host of quests you can decide to go do over here. You can do side quests, you can do main quests, you can look at the difficulty levels and choose what you want to do. You can like beef up your supplies and your XP before going to do those. I really like how open the world is in that sense, and it just makes it feel a little bit more real and a little bit more immersive and a little bit more strategic. Like it's fun to strategize with whoever you're playing with and be like, okay, where do we want to go? What do we want to do? And also just explore and like have fun sometimes and goof off. But Borderlands 4, it was a new release. I was so excited to see they're coming out with another one, and it, for me, it lived up to the hype. I actually didn't look into any of the reviews at all. Maybe other people didn't like it as much, but I thought it was perfect. I thought it was a perfect addition to the franchise. And the last one is Ghosts of Yotei. The only thing I could say about this game, I don't know, I could say a lot about this game. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's phenomenally done. Beautifully done. Mwah. And there are difficulty levels. I personally love to take it down a notch, make it a little bit easier on myself to get through a game like this. And that's fine. Games are for playing exactly how you want to play them, exactly what's fun for you to experience. If it's not fun for you to sit there and be like, take the difficulty down a notch. This is like a game of the year winner type of game. Like it's really good. If you don't love open world exploration with a lot of like battle focused, fighting focused mechanics, I don't know, you probably won't like this. But I think like if you like any of those things even a little, you will love this game because it's just a beautifully done game. It's beautifully done. It's gorgeous. I would just like ride my horse and sit there and stare at the water and the hills and it just be like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm in this game right now. It's gorgeous. Yeah, even if you just want to ride your horse around and experience the splendors of nature, you could do that with this game. It's an expensive way to do that, but you can do that in this game. Okay, you guys, those are all of my games. Sometimes I have a least favorite game release of the year, but actually this year I didn't have any one that I disliked enough to put that label on. There were some that were just fine, and then you know, there were others that I liked, but just not enough to put on this list. But there weren't any that I was like, this is terrible. So no inclusion of that this year. But those are all of the games I loved this year. It was such a good year for cozy games. Like I said, like I am feeling so hopeful and optimistic for the future of this industry. Like I know there's so much talk around like so many bad games coming out, but there's also so many good games. There's so many good games. And that just goes to show that there's so much heart in this industry still. There's so much heart. There's so much care. There's so much love. There's people like you and me that love cozy games so much and would do anything to see more and more phenomenal cozy games come out. And so just keep making your voice heard. Keep supporting the good games that come out. Yeah, what a year. What a year for cozy gaming. I can't wait to see you next year. There will be lots and lots and lots of cozy demos next year. So make sure you give me a little subscribe. We're almost at 100K. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get that silver plaque for this channel too. So thank you guys so much. I love you. Stay cozy. Bye.